Hey, IDS 301, Session A, Fall 2020. This is Module 3, Video 1. It is September 8th, and I know I might be a day late or so, but let's get into this. Um, Module 3, let's see, I got a lot to talk about, but we're going to make it short and sweet, right? Hey, just a reminder on any assignment, discussion board, whatever, where I leave you comments, feedback, don't reply there, okay? Because I rarely see it. I have to keep going through everything just to make sure I'm not missing someone replying to my comments. So email those to me if you could, referencing what it is you wanted to discuss, okay? And I think we'll be all right. So far, just to give I always like taking a good look. I don't know if I think it changes for you as well as me when I change from percentage to points. So I will leave it at percentage for a while, but as we get towards the end of the course, keep track how many points you have, because again, that's indicative of your final grade. Oh my God, excuse me, should I restart it? No, you didn't hear that. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Blame it on the Coke Zero. All right, so far, just looking at it, and most everybody's doing real well in the course. If you're doing the work, you're doing well, basically. If you're not doing the work, you're not doing well, okay? Reminder again that any assignment that goes past, gets to 5 days past due, it shuts off at that point. You can't see it after that or submit it. So you want to be sure to get your work in and decide, if 5, 10, 15, 20, 25%, that's the late fees. Uh, so let's look at module 3. I'm just going to go over it generally right now, not get into too many specifics. Just want to emphasize certain things like the overview. Remember my colleague Michael Prezia set a lot of this stuff up, and he doesn't do videos, so he can get really wordy in the pages because he wants to explain it. I do the videos, so it's kind of redundant, but I have adjusted here and there and taken some things out. But I just want to emphasize, look at this overview. It's very important. We're starting to dig in deep now to interdisciplinary studies, and we've got a big project coming up. So one of the things he talks about here is mentions MAPS assignment, mapping, interdisciplinary mapping, cognitive mapping. It's about how you look at your concentration or discipline, of course, and you basically map it out. It's it's not as in depth as it could be, but it gives you the idea what mapping, cognitive mapping, mapping disciplines means. You take a look at different categories of things in each discipline or concentration. In this way, you could probably see some of the conflict areas that you would run into if you're trying to integrate. So pay close attention to that. The MAPS assignment is a 2-module assignment. This is going to be tricky because we're going to introduce it here, but it won't be due until the end of module 4. Do not procrastinate on it. I guarantee you it's worth 100 points. Matter of fact, it made this course be worth more points because I changed it to 80 and I realized our rubric was 100 and I want to leave it at 100. It's that important. So don't let it slide. So read the overview, learning objectives, and then the module actions that we're going to be doing on this module, including readings chapter 3, 4, and 5 in this. Chapter 3 is 13 pages, chapter 4 is 7, and chapter 5 is 7. It's not a lot of reading, but it's good reading. It will give you a lot of information here on the theories of interdisciplinarity and integrative learning, on critical thinking and epistemology, and integrative learning. Those are important concepts and ideas about interdisciplinary studies, and you should get a lot out of that. I won't talk a lot about that right now, but and just we're working on our precision in language and expression and writing. The discipline again is in the disciplines, and so Keep reminding yourself to capitalize the disciplines. When you use them as disciplines, you capitalize disciplines. Not the word discipline, but the disciplines. If there's a degree in it, it's a discipline. Okay, pretty much. That's a rule of thumb. If it's a separate field of learning. Um, Also, to remember that I just forgot what I was going to say, that discipline thing, and then just basically remember interdisciplinary studies is this program you're in. To be interdisciplinary means that you're learning how to integrate disciplines and concepts, ideas to solve problems and analyze issues. This makes you an interdisciplinarian. It's a long word, and I think it still hits spell check, but don't mix those terms up, okay? And call yourself an interdisciplinary. You're not an interdisciplinary. You're an interdisciplinarian, okay? And it's interdisciplinary studies. Just some basic things to think about, because these things just slip through fast, and I want you to be clear on that. You're also going to read the Petri article. Petri the article is a classic, as we say in this business. It's a classic. It looks like it's a lot of pages, but it's not too bad. And I have it here somewhere. Where the heck is it? I opened up so many links to set you guys up that, okay, where's my Petri article? Fine, I'll open it again. And you'll find that here in this page on all the stuff to do. Do you see what I see? It's done by Petri, and it is, boy, I've hit too many windows open, way too many windows. Where'd it go? Here it is. Okay, University of Illinois Press. It's copied from a journal. Do you see what I see? The epistemology of interdisciplinary inquiry. This is where it gets down to some of the nuts and bolts, and especially, it's like 12 pages, but half of one is some drawings. But just to give you an example of, do you see what I see, and how we use like a metaphor for interdisciplinary studies, to take a look at these pictures real briefly. It's kind of like, what do you see? Do you see what I see here? Do you see a martini with an olive dropping in, or do you see a bikini bottom with a belly button? Do you see a duck looking up in the sky, or do you see a rabbit looking to the left? Do you see a young woman with her head facing the other way, or do you see an old woman with a large nose? This is indicative of how disciplines see things differently. Okay, it depends where they're coming from in terms of analysis. And it's something to be cognizant about, because just like anything else, as we use critical thinking in our world today, we can question what someone else is seeing. Why are they seeing it that way? Or what am I missing? What could I be looking at differently, right? So this is a great article for that. Let me close that so I can get some other things done. Now there's a number of links in the module 3 learning materials. Besides chapter 3, 4, and 5, and Petri, then you get into the maps downloads. We've tried to break it up to give you a good idea of how it goes. So there is a 2-page PDF on the introduction to the disciplinary maps assignment. Go through it closely, read why it's important, and then there's some instructions there at the bottom of the page. Now, the second page, the disciplinary maps assignment, you're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different categories that you're going to be writing under. This is why it's a 2-module assignment, okay? So if you start it later, don't say it was really hard to do because you had 2 weeks to do it, right? There's 8 things. So, you could do, 1 every 2 days and pretty much finish it up. I know my math is off there, okay? Let me do Easter egg number 1 real quick. Easter egg number 1 is put in the time. Put in the time. I know I talked about any university 3-credit course should encompass approximately 130 hours of work. However, that's broken up. In a 15-week course, it's 9 hours a week approximately. In a 7.5-week course, it's doubled to 18. So if you're not putting in 18 to 20 hours, especially this time, then you may be rushing through it a little bit. All right, so put in the time. Now, the next link I want to talk about is, so I talked about the assignment introduction and then the assignment itself. Then there's an assignment template. Okay, we did this to make sure you knew what we were looking for in terms of this bad boy. And I have it just as a Word doc right now. It's just a Word doc, but it should give you guidelines to, so you see, all we did was we basically took the sections and, there's your sections there. Now, they're not going to be that short. Trust me, everybody's worrying about length. Do what you need to do to write it. Okay, let me see if I can get this thing back to where I need it. That's close enough. But that's a template there, gives you some idea. Of course, I want your name on it. This right here it's set up Times New Roman 12 in the bold headings. You don't want to bold the whole thing, but you remember what your formatting looks like. So that's important to look at that document as well. Now, the next thing we're going to see is there's a grading rubric. I have the rubric that looks like this. You'll see it. I'm just showing you just a glance at it. We're calling it maps number 1 and maps number 2, 2 columns. Why is it that? Because you're going to do the same assignment twice. Remember, because you have 2 concentrations. So you're going to put on the first few pages are going to be your first concentration. Pick whatever it is. And you're going to go through everything. The description of the discipline, the description of discipline and subject matter, the subfields within the discipline, the research questions, the research methods and techniques, the key concepts, the current theories, the professional/academic journals, and the professional/academic associations. You're going to list those, then you're going to do it again in the same document, but starting below that, you're going to do your second discipline concentration. Each one of them will be scored separately. Each category is worth 5 and 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 5, all the way down to the entire paper's grammar, writing, formatting, and overall organization. That's worth 10 and 10. Okay, look at the rubric so you know what you're getting into. Okay, it's not that difficult to understand. So now let me clear some of this out so I can look at another link, which is a concept and theories examples for the MAPS assignment. Here we gave you a head start. We gave you some examples of concepts and theories for some of your concentrations. Okay, as you can see, let me try to get this thing. There's a whole list here of different concepts and theories for different disciplines/concentrations to get you started, and hopefully for you to recognize what the differences are between concepts and theories. Okay, so actually this is examples of concepts, not theories. Okay, because theories are going to be typically a theory of blank, theory of blank, theory of gravity, right? The theories of economic instability. I don't know, complex theory. There's going to be something theory or theory of something. That's the giveaway. Concepts, though, for example, psychology concepts of cognition, conditioning, ego, business-related disciplines, authoritarianism, empowerment, monopolistic competition. So you understand what I'm getting at here. So this should be interesting for you. If these are your real passions and your concentrations and you want to learn about them, this is when you're going to go out and learn about them, okay? Now, how do you find those types of things? Well, we have an interdisciplinary studies library resource. It's old. It's not the best. We don't have our dedicated librarian anymore, unfortunately. But you should, and I didn't want to remove those links because I think there's still some things in here that's helpful. If you look on the left side, especially, here's the link. And in the gray boxes here, you'll see when you go to that link, that actually itemized by your assignment. So there's description of discipline and subjects there. There's current theories and key concepts, academic journal, professional associations. Now, especially when we get to that one, I'll talk more about it as we go on. But remember, a professional academic journal, okay, academic journals are academic journals. They're not magazines. They're not advertising. They're not selling something. They're academic journals. There's a big difference in it. So Forbes is not an academic journal. Okay. USA Today is not an academic journal. Okay. Usually it'll say the journal of whatever, and that's a journal, obviously, right? Professional associations, be careful there, but there are some. For example, remember, I'm in the Association of Interdisciplinary Studies. That's a that's an academic association, professional association. There could be like a realtors association, I suppose, psychologists, etc. All right. And there's research questions and methodologies. All right. This is important, and that's your MAPS project. So you will start working on that. Hopefully, there's another link for organizational studies, library resources, and be sure to look at that. It's the same thing, basically. Okay. Discussion board 3.1, learning from the get-go. Awesome video, TED Talk, watch it. I think this is my doctor's office calling me. Yep, doggone it. And the Mighty Mug. Watch both of those, follow the directions. It's fun. You'll see interdisciplinary studies in action, right? Very cool. So get on that. Discussion board 2. I mean, I'll start talking about that in a week, but do you see what I see? You're going to be referring to the Petrie article and answering 7 prompts there. And then we have the quiz. You got an hour to do 30 questions, 15 multiple choice, 15 true and false, based on the readings and the Petrie article. And then that's it on module 3. So it may look overwhelming. It's not. Do the readings, right? Okay, let me see if I got Easter egg 2 set up here. Easter egg number 2 is start on your maps. Do not let it go till next week. If you do, I'll be able to tell right away, because some people are going to start telling me, a week and a half from now, oh, I got problems finding this, problems finding that, because you just started it. All right. So get on it. It's part of who you are and what you do, right? Part of it. It's not who you are, but it's what you do. It's things you're interested in, right? So check it out. It's how you get into stuff. I mean, that's how you learn it, right? One of the ways. Other than that, let's see. I want you to, just remember in your discussion boards, if there's different parts, make sure I know where your parts break up. Leave one line gap. That's fine. Discussion boards that are right on text right there. Not too worried about formatting as much as I am. You give me a break. You just don't slam a whole bunch of stuff on there, okay? Word docs, we'll go over that formatting, but you remember what we're doing. I haven't looked at your plans of study yet. I will be doing that, and a number of you turned those in. 27, it looks like. That's about half, a little more than half, of course. And I'll take a look at those in terms of the discussion boards that I was scoring from Module 2. Pay attention, because you will need to get those in. If you haven't done your discussion boards, get those in. There's a handful of people that didn't do that yet. Yeah, that's my doctor. I did one of those. Press 1 if you'd like us to call you back. I was on hold 20 minutes. I wanted to do this. So, okay. Contact me with questions and concerns. 18 and a half minutes. I'm trying to keep these less than 20 for you guys. Hopefully that works out. And other than that, Easter egg number 3, remember the formatting. And I'll be getting more into that, of course, but remember the formatting. So 19 minutes, forks up, peace.